Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un have been raising a lot of questions all over the world. Their possible alliance has caused a very big uproar all over the world, and the West especially is really scared of this possible alliance between Kim Jong-un of North Korea and Vladimir Putin of Russia. Now these two are big powerhouses all over the world, and Korea and Russia are one of the biggest countries, especially when it comes to possession of nuclear weapons. In today's video, I'm going to discuss everything concerning the trading of nuclear weapons and military weapons in general. Can Kim Jong-un give Vladimir Putin weapons to destroy Ukraine forever? The Ukraine-Russia war could be over in an instant once nuclear weapons are given to Vladimir Putin. So, in today's video, let's discuss what international law talks about trading of military weapons and especially a possible nuclear war. So, let's go. Welcome everyone, Simply Legal. My name is Kahuma, the usual host on this channel, and the motto of Simply Legal is to simplify the law for you creatively, both national and internationally. Now, we have seen Kim Jong-un of North Korea getting into Russia with a bullet train. Now, this has raised a lot of questions and uproar, especially by the Western world. They are wondering whether Kim Jong is now starting a possible alliance with Putin of Russia, and whether indeed he is actually fighting the Ukraine war behind Putin. Now, Vladimir Putin has been the center of criticism for a very long time, especially since he invaded Ukraine and started the Ukraine-Russia war. Now, I want to explain to you exactly what international law says about the trading of arms and also the trading of nuclear weapons. I'll start with the trading of arms. Under international law, we have the United Nations Charter. I think I've mentioned this so many times. But in particular now, we have the Arms Trade Treaty, which is the ATT. The United Nations Charters all give birth to the different treaties. Why? A treaty, like I've explained to you, is an international or a legally binding document which connects countries together for the common cause or for the common good. Now, the Arms Trade Treaty came up especially because of the aftermath of what happened during the World War I and World War II. Now, there's been so many steps to prevent World War III, but from what we're seeing Ukraine and Russia doing, there's going to be World War III very soon if we're not very careful. Now, this is the topic of today. The Arms Trade Treaty is an internationally legally binding document which oversees the trading of arms, the elicitation of arms, and most importantly, it governs which country can have different sets of arms. Now, arms may be something that people may not be understanding, but arms are basically weapons, so we can call it the Arms Trade Treaty or the Arms Weapons Treaty. Now, arms is an international word for weapons. Weapons are something that every country should have, definitely, because every country should have a fallback position if they are ever attacked by the use of force or they are attacked by another country. But now, when we're looking at the Ukraine-Russia war, Russia is a very, very big country. Russia has superior technology over Ukraine. Now, by the introduction of Kim Jong-un having a relationship, having a friendship with Vladimir Putin, it causes a lot of uproar, or it can raise an eyebrow, definitely, because the world is seeing Kim Jong being able to supply military weapons or nuclear weapons to Vladimir Putin. Now, it's no secret that Putin already has nuclear weapons. The United States also has nuclear weapons. Almost the entire West has nuclear weapons, but they are fearing for the state of Ukraine because Vladimir Putin can easily invade Ukraine, especially if Kim Jong-un of North Korea supplies Vladimir Putin with nuclear weapons. Now, the Arms Trade Treaty comes in to be able to regulate whatever country deals in weapons or arms. So in this particular way, I'm trying to explain to you that there is no way, or illegally, Kim Jong-un would have violated what are called United Nations Security resolutions. Now, what is the UN Security Council? The UN Security Council is a subset of the UN which is meant to protect world peace all over the world. Now, the UN Security Council is the one supposed to give provisional guidelines, or is the one supposed to allow different countries to be able to supply each other with military weapons, and especially nuclear weapons. Now, the moment Kim Jong of North Korea visited Russia, there was a press statement released by President Biden of the USA stating that President Biden stated that if ever Kim Jong was to supply military weapons to Russia, then he would be in violation of the UN security guidelines. Now, there are particular members of the UN Security Council who are permanent members. We have permanent members of the UN Security Council and non-permanent members. In the permanent members, we have the United Kingdom, we have the United States of America, we have Russia, we have China, and France. Now, a permanent member of the UN Security Council must abide by the UN security resolutions and guidelines. The fact that Putin and North Korea are not seeking address or advice from the UN Security Council, then that means that they're going to be able to violate the UN security guidelines if at all they tell them that they cannot supply military weapons to Russia. This is not so much of a big deal at the look of it, but in the deeper meaning, the whole world is just trying to protect Russia. The point of the West and the whole world is to actually protect Ukraine, because Ukraine is militarily weak or weaker than Russia. The moment Russia receives military weapons from North Korea, then it is going to be able to destroy Ukraine in even a matter of hours. So that is the provisional treaty, or that is the main treaty that looks at supply of military weapons and arms between countries. So let's go to whatever happens if these military weapons or arms are nuclear weapons. What does international law say? Let's look at that and then we'll finally finish up this video. We go? Okay, let me repeat. This particular segment of the video talks about how nuclear weapons are supposed to be governed or traded with all over the world. Now, what does nuclear mean? Nuclear means the biggest or the most dangerous type of bombs all over the world. Nuclear weapons are weapons which harness or use the power of nuclear energy. Now, nuclear energy is the most devastating use of energy all over the world. The moment even one nuclear missile, for example, hits Uganda, it can obliterate, it can destroy the whole of Uganda, Rwanda, and the most part of Kenya and Tanzania. That's how bad a nuclear weapon can be. Now, what law governs nuclear weapons? We have the Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Now, the Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons comes from the UN Charter. I think I don't need to mention nuclear charters on this channel because I've talked about them. I'll leave the link in the description of where I discussed what nuclear charters are. I mean, what United Nations charters are. But United Nations charters are basically a forum or a platform under which new laws and new treaties can be made to bind all countries all over the world. As we know, United Nations is the biggest body all over the world, the biggest international body. So the prohibition of nuclear weapons all over the world, the Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, is a treaty which, number one, regulates how much nuclear weapons are being developed. It regulates the trade of nuclear weapons. It regulates also which countries are trading in nuclear weapons, but most importantly, it protects weaker countries from bigger countries which have nuclear weapons which can destroy the weaker countries. So I'm just trying to simplify the law for you creatively, like Simply Legal does. So the Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons is a treaty which is a legally binding document. I think I should explain what a treaty is once again. A treaty is like an international agreement, or it's a contract. So every country that signs that treaty and ratifies to it internationally becomes bound by that treaty. So if ever any country is to break any of those regulations under that treaty, then they can be sued internationally, or international sanctions can be put onto that country to be able to punish that country. Now, the UN Security Council heavily enforces this Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Now, if ever Kim Jong-un of North Korea was supposed to supply nuclear weapons, or if he was ever thinking of supplying nuclear weapons to Vladimir Putin of Russia, then he will be found in violation of the Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, and also the Arms Trade Treaty internationally. Now, I just wanted to break down for you exactly what treaties or what legally binding charters are looked at concerning this issue of Ukraine and Russia. It's very sad that this war has been going on for about 18 months now, ever since the beginning of 2021, and it's so sad that this is going to affect the world. It has already affected us globally, economically, politically. It has strained global relations between different countries, and most importantly, there are so many sanctions that have been put on Russia. It has devastated Russia's economy so much, but most importantly, it has killed the Ukrainian economy. It might even take Ukraine 20 years to recover from this war. So I wanted to discuss all of this with you. I wanted to explain to you what laws are governing all of this. There has been no proof that Kim Jong-un is going to supply nuclear weapons to Russia, but this was just an assumption by the Western world, especially by the USA. Now, let's just see what goes on. I cannot really conclude anything right now concerning that war or the possible relation between Ukraine and North Korea. I mean Russia and North Korea. But let's just see where this war goes. And until next time, I remain yours truly, Terry Kahuma. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, please continue loving and supporting these videos, because these videos promote the channel more and more. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye.